I got a ton of stuff to say, and I'm gonna take my time to say it. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna forget uh, some things that I want to say. So yeah, I got a stack of stuff here that I can show here that will help me to remember. But some things I just nothing to hold. So I don't have any visual reminders. So I have to. So let's start. Let's just start off. Let's just start off with this. First off, Donnie Campbell, Giles, Chris Shankt, and I are doing a live stream of the Star Wars. I've forgotten the name. Rebellion something role-playing game. So we're actually, I've got the set here. We've got like character sheets with all our stats on them and our descriptions. I personally, I have dice that I throw. So on every attack and every initiative thing, I throw dice, and we film that and we stream it. Now, the first 3 streams were on Hardcastle Gaming, which is a YouTube channel that we use for all our long plays, Minecraft and Arma 3 and Elite and everything. But this is like a live action, us talking and laughing and doing a story. It's really, really interesting. So it's sort of in your mind game. It's cool. Every Thursday night, we're aiming for every Thursday night, and it might be on Donnie's Twitch channel. That's like because of technology, right? We have to bring 3 inputs together. We have to have nice stuff on the screen, and Donnie knows, and he has. So it's 123_ on Twitch. So twitch.tv/123_ and every Thursday night. Now, I would like to see those episodes like perpetuated on Twitch. I don't think Twitch does that. So hopefully there's a way to get the videos on YouTube as well, so that you can watch them later. So that's the thing. Another thing, untouchable thing. I have there's been a big update to Elite. Elite Horizons has had the Engineers update. It's not so interesting for me at this point because I'm 30,000 light years away from inhabited space, and most of the stuff that happens in the update is in inhabited space, so I cannot enjoy much of that. It's no problem because I decided to buy another instance. So I basically have 2 commanders now. The nice thing about that is that you start from scratch. You start with a little Sidewinder with 1,000 credits, and you have to sort of make your way. Again, start over. That's what I'm good at. That's what I like to do. So basically, I've started Elite all over again, but I couldn't afford another Horizons, so I bought the Elite Dangerous, like the first version, which also had an update, which does help me in my new instance. So I'm Commander, the Highlander, Explorer, big time Explorer, and I'm 30,000 light years away. That puts me right about at the core of the galaxy. It's not that I've gone to the core, but at the same sort of distance. And my new guy, it's probably going to be a trader and an explorer again, because that's what I like to do, is Commander the Lowlander. Just so you know. The third thing, intouchable thing, is a little thing that I wanted to say about my current stream of videos that I've been doing about the game programming. I'm enjoying it very much. I can tell by the views that there's only a small selection of people that are viewing it now. I get that because it's, when you're not into coding, it's pretty boring. And you don't get to see my lovely face. So I can understand that it's less attractive. It's okay. I'm doing this for me, and I like doing it. And also, I'm pretty sure that it's going to attract an audience, some time from now. So these videos will be up. They'll be linked to the original tutorial series by Georg. Which brings me to another point. I've contacted Georg. He responded to me. It's very nice. It's just a quick thing that he said, if you need help, just to let me know. So until now, I haven't needed any help. But also, the art for that game, Guns and Ghosts, was made by Trevor Storey. Now, Trevor Storey, I didn't know this, but I've sort of, looked into who the hell is Trevor anyway. And he lives in the UK, and he's an artist, and he's been doing game art for about 30 years, for a long time, and for many well-known games too. I didn't know that. Maybe you did, but he's an artist, still doing art. He has a Facebook page. He has a YouTube channel that I have to remember to link him in. And the other day, he posted a message on Facebook that he had some original art for sale. His concept art book, I think it was. For Soulless. This is another Commodore game that he cooperated on. And he had that for sale. And I thought, that's something that I'm really interested in and that I would like to have. And he had a price. I thought, that's very fair price to pay that. And I thought, I'm never going to get that. But, I thought, I decide now, so I typed in, I want it, and I PM'd him, and, he got in touch almost immediately, and we made the deal, and we settled it, and I bought that stuff. I can't show it yet, but it's underway. It's original art by Trevor Storey. He does really interesting stuff, game-related, fantasy stuff. He's from, northern part of England, so... I think at least, he did like an animation of his existing art, which had stuff from Newcastle, which I recognize, but also some other bits of the UK. But all in a very futuristic and it's very interesting stuff. Interesting. So that stuff is on the way, and I'll show it when it's here. I've bought some other things in that regard, so I'll get back with that now. Next item is so that's like the untouchable stuff. I think. Well, other than SpaceX is gonna go to Mars before I die, that's cool news. Did you see like the second or third automated landing that they did? They shoot a rocket out into the, what do I? Not out of the atmosphere, and you get the sphere, something, cosmosphere. I don't know. I can't think of the word. They shoot it out, and it gets itself back. And not only that, it lands in a very specific place, and they have this drone ship that they put out on the water, and the rocket finds it and just lands there, so we can use it again. And they've said we're going to Mars. So there's probably going to be an unmanned mission to Mars by SpaceX, so not NASA. I think they cooperate with NASA and probably European Space Agency as well, but a commercial company. That's exciting stuff. Right, gaming stuff related. I got this. This auction site. It's called Kata Wiki. And you can sort of build your own catalog of stuff. but you can also sell it. And there are auctions. And I get an email, the auction started, and there's video games and cars and watches and everything. And I saw this. Now, these fight sticks, it's a fight stick. They go for quite a bit of money, and I never want to pay that. Now, I bought one off someone. I think it was Matthew Hartley. I think. Yeah, I think that was it. It's been a while. Sorry if I'm wrong. And correct me if that is the case. But I bought a PlayStation 3 stick that I could use on the PC with Windows 7, the Motion Enjoy drivers, and that sort of converted the thing to the other thing, and it sort of worked. But in Windows 10, that stopped working, so I didn't have a stick that I could use on the PC anymore. So I got this, and this is a Hori Fighting Stick EX2 for the Xbox 360. So I thought, hey, plug it in, and hey, gaming. I can. This is what I think. This is my thought process. This is like just an Xbox 360 controller, but in a different shape. So if I want to play an arcade game, it's all got all the buttons. It's got the stick. Bang. I'm done. Wrong. It doesn't work that way. If I start Steam and I want to play Castle in the Darkness, which supports a gamepad, and I know it does because I play it with a gamepad, I think it should do this as well, but it doesn't. It doesn't even recognize it's there. And there's many games and also when I connect this and I have like my Cytec flight stick on and I have my steering wheel on, Steam just gets confused. The Steam games are really bad at recognizing which controller you want to use. Because if I have this connected, it's very illogical that you should look at my Cytec X52 and think, oh, that's going to be it. Or the ED tracker, the head tracking device, that gets used as a controller. Oh, we'll use that. No, it's not logical. I want this. And if you can't figure it out automatically, let me choose it. But there's hardly a programmer smart enough to do that. So please, Steam game programmers, let me choose my own goddamn controller because I know better than you. Thank you very much. It sort of pisses me off that you start Steam, you spend another $20-$30 on a controller and again it doesn't work. Crap, it's so easy to make it work. The Ultra Street Fighter 4 did work, by the way, but I have to unplug all my other controllers. Bullshit. Ring, I've shown this in a previous video, and I've watched 3 of them now. Ring 2, and Ring O. I was always so afraid that this would be super scary. That's how it was always described to me. Like, this is the scariest thing you could ever see. It's not. It's not scary at all. The scariest thing you'll see is, some suspense and people pulling a scary face. Because people who sort of die from watching the video go, that's it. There's no blood, there's no gore, it's no Hollywood kind of horror. It's Japanese, real-life manga style, and it's fun to watch. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed Ring. I've got Ring Spiral to go. And these are the Japanese ones. Japanese voices, and I'm really enjoying it, by the way. It's nice. I did an AV mod on my video pack, and I used this game, Frogger, by Parker Brothers, to test it, and it didn't work. And I think, I thought, shit, I've done something wrong. But it turns out that the game was wrong. And I knew already that the screws were showing, so someone had already been in there. So I was thinking, it's probably a ROM. Maybe I need some soldering or something to fix it. So I opened it up and I cleaned the contacts, and that didn't work. And I thought, let's open it up one more time. Have a look at those contacts again and maybe go at it with something else. So I used alcohol the first time, didn't do a thing. And then I used a polish, and it worked perfect. The stuff that came off there was black as night. It was dirty. It was just really, really dirty. So I cleaned it up and I got it working again. I fixed the game again. It makes me really happy. And it's a pretty nice version. Of course, not both of the screen parts are on it for the video pack, because you get the car section first, and then you cross over to the water section. But it's a good version. I quite like it. Then I went to the thrift store. There's a thrift store near my work. I almost never get the chance to go there, but sometimes, an opportunity arises for me to leave a little bit early, and I go. And last time there was like a whole bookcase full of PS2 games. There's always games there. I've gotten some very interesting games from that place. And this time, all the PS2 games were gone. There wasn't one PS2 game left. But I really went in there, finally the opportunity to go there. And there's nothing there. No, there's no, what I'm trying to say is I'm finally there. I'm going to get something. I have to get something. And I was going through the games, and there's a lot of 360 games, which I'm interested in, but these are all sports games, and there's a couple of GameCube games that I really didn't want to get because they weren't interesting, or they were scratched to hell. But I found the most interesting stuff that I could find, and I brought it. And I brought this. I bought this for the PC because I'm also a PC gamer now. Return to Castle Wolfenstein for the PC by id Software, and it's a very nice condition. It has like a little card in it, and it has a manual in it, and it has, of course, it has the game. It has the code under my fingers, which I'm not going to show because I don't know, if maybe it's a Steam code. I haven't really looked at it yet. It's always a risk with PC games. They're really cheap, but you run the risk that the code is used and you can't use it again. So I've done that before. So I haven't tested this yet. I'm hoping it'll work. Then this is one that I have tested. Lego Batman for the DS. I like playing the handheld because I'm sat on the couch and I do the little handheld thing. But it's really a dime a dozen. All these Lego games are the same. I have Star Wars Lego. I don't know which one. I can't read it from here. They're all exactly the same. Just different graphics, but they're exactly the same. It's two guys. You can switch between them, and they both have different capabilities. And you pick up these coins, and you put together stuff, and you go level by level. Exactly the same. Fun, but exactly the same. Then I was really surprised to find this. A GameCube game. I think this was $3.50. I took off the price tags. $3.50. Super Mario Sunshine. I had to look up a review afterwards. I knew this is not. There's a couple of Mario games, that I'm just not interested in. But this one, this is the one that a lot of people didn't like. But I think I would, but that's because it sort of breaks with the standard Mario thing. I think this was made around the time that as a Mario 64 game, this is like a 3D world, but it's kind of different. And you get the little water jet, you have to, and that takes you up and you shoot with the water, and it's all beach and water related. And it's not bad. And the funny thing is, I went to a flea. as I was saying, the funny thing is that I went to a flea market today and I found the same game. And I should have picked it up. I didn't. I should have picked it up because this has no manual and the other one could have. But I don't really care about that. But that would have been nice. Then, also today, there's this big flea market once a year. And it's huge. And it's becoming bigger and bigger. And there's more and more people coming, which is kind of making me a little bit nervous. Because I don't feel, if there was $1 million or euros or pounds, like placed in a field, and you told me and 100 other people, like, run for it, I would forget it. I would say, forget, I'm not even going to try. And that's sort of the feeling I get with this. When there's a place that I'm going to, especially when I'm trying to get good deals with things, and there's already 1 million people there, and there's another 500,000 behind me, rushing to get there first, and I sort of get the feeling, let's give up. I don't want this. I went anyway, and I didn't find many things. The first thing I saw that went on the maybe pile in my head, which is a bad idea, kind of, was I saw a model Enterprise, Star Trek Enterprise, which was, I'm not so into collecting like statues and things, the amiibos, and that doesn't do anything for me at all, or toys. But this sort of looked, I could have had it in here. But it's dumb to think that, I'll just go over the flea market and then come back and I'll pick it up when it's there, because it'll be gone. And there's a point to this story, because I came across this guy and he had this, The Witcher 2 for PC, but it was a nice big box. So he opened it up for me because I already had something in my hand. The game, a bonus DVD with the official soundtrack. Why it's on DVD, I wouldn't know. And then there's the user manual. This must be some kind of a special edition, because there's a game guide in it. I didn't even know that. Game guide. There's like an envelope, which must have something cool in it. It's... I'll tell you that this envelope hasn't even been opened. Or maybe it's been... I'm curious. Let's have a little look inside. Oh, it's a hog named Hensfeld. That's funny. My mother's last name is Heslenfeld. That's almost the same. And there's Assassins of Kings. How to make your own papercraft. And there's a map. This stuff, this guy never played the game. This map has never been used. So I have like a Witcher 2 map. I'll try and show it. There, you've seen it. I haven't. Yep. So, that was $5. Not bad. I think it's a good deal, because I was holding something else. That was the thing that I was holding in my hand, which I'd basically bought from him already. And I said, what if I bundle this with the other thing? He said, well, just give me $10 for this one. And it was wrapped still in a shrink wrap. He said, yeah, I accidentally bought 2. It's not really gaming related, but it's Stephen King, The Dark Tower. It's sort of a Marvel graphic novel. Now, I read the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, which is really good. And I have kind of a sort of real meets fiction ghost story to tell with that, which I'm going to try and recount for you very quickly. Is that I was reading these books, but not all the parts were available yet because Stephen King was still writing. And part 5, I'm not really sure what the name was the Wolves of the Kala or the one before that. I'd ordered it in the Netherlands where I live, but I was going to the United States on holiday, right? Was going to New York, actually. We're going to go from New York, and we're going to go on a trip, take the train to Boston and then stay there. So I ordered this book, but with the plans to go to the States, I went to the store, said, cancel my order. I'll just go to the United States and buy it there because I read these books in English anyway. So I get to the United States, and they basically first, had the first print, which were a hardcover collector's edition, and they were all sold out. So every store that I came into said, sorry, you'll have to wait for the next print, and you'll have to order, and it said, it's no use. So there's one store that I walk into, and the guy says, well, I think actually someone returned one because they didn't realize it was a series, and they brought it back. So he came back with the book. He said, well, this is it, and I bought it. I was very happy. So that was kind of a lucky thing. Now, in the book, I think I've told this story. This is a real story, right? This really happened. In the book, there's a moment that the main character travels by train from New York to Boston. And I'm reading this, right? And the train, as you may or may not know, the train that goes from New York to Boston, at a certain train station, I can't remember which, switches from electricity to diesel. And I still get goosebumps telling this story. You can't see them, but they're there. As I'm reading this, the train stops. I look out the window, and we're doing the trip from New York to Boston. I look out the window, and I'm at that station, and I'm waiting for the train to go from electricity to diesel as I'm reading it. And I turn to Marianne, you got to listen to this, This is what I'm reading right now, and it's happening as I'm reading that. So that's the story. Like it or not, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was magical. Oh God, what a story, huh? That's one I'll tell my kids. I haven't told my daughter the story yet. You're right. Well, that's it. That's it. That's nothing. The stack is empty. I've told all my stories, and I've shown you my pickups. I got more pickups on the way. Those are the Commodore 64 game and the Trevor Storey stuff. But that'll be here. I don't know when, because I've learned that ordering games from Cytronic, although exciting, you're gonna have to be able to hold your pee for a while, because it takes a bit before it arrives. I think that Ken's, who is the guy who does it, it's not his real name, but I don't really know his real name. I think he sort of is on a ship once per month or once per fortnight kind of deal, because it takes a long time for the stuff to arrive. That's okay, Ken's, but just, if you make clear how you work, then I know it's just managing expectations. Now I'm expecting the game to arrive in a couple of days, and it doesn't. So disappointment ensues. And the last time I mailed about that, I got a response, I just came back from holiday. I'm kind of afraid to do that again, because I'm sort of afraid you'll say I just come from holiday or something. I don't know how it works. Maybe you'll surprise me. The game will be here this week, and I'll be really happy, and I'll eat my words and humble pie in my hat after that. So there's that. But still exciting. Solus, Rocket Smash EX, and I'm getting Solus from the great Trevor Storey himself. Guys, me. This is a unique piece of work, and I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna show it with you. I don't want to say it, but I was thinking the home viewer. But, you know, forget that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, because I'll be there, and I hope you will too.